bet you'd love to be able to pencil Jack Suwinski's name into the 2023 lineup. I know that I would, but... ... Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins. Where you found this? Steelers and Penguins, of course, are all you have now that baseball season is over in Pittsburgh as of a couple nights ago. After that last game, the Pirates' 62nd win, I spent some time with Jack and asked him what he sees as a potential quality follow-up to his 19 home run rookie season.
Everything. I'm ready to, go home, start planning, and look back on this year, all the learning experiences, and incorporate that in my offseason plan, just come back ready to go.
I kind of expected that answer. Jack's all meat and potatoes. There's very little fluff when it comes to his personality or when it comes to exchanges with him. He's not a kid of a whole lot of words. He just smiles and enjoys the moment and very much enjoys the game, particularly when he is hitting 19 home runs in, roughly, 3.5 months of the 2022 season? Yeah? Well, that's tremendous. Okay, there's no knocking 19 home runs in a full rookie season, let alone one in which he just had 372 plate appearances. What he did was outstanding, and don't forget this context too, because I know he had the 0-for-30 slump in the middle of the year that ended up getting him sent back to Indianapolis. But he was outrageously consistent when it came to hitting home runs. It was the one thing that he did well, but it was also something that he did consistently well. Baseball loves consistency. So again, full credit to him on that front, not taking anything away from it. Not going to sit here and find a negative out of that specific positive. It's a heck of a trait to have if you're going to have one trait. This portion of Daily Shot of Pirates is brought to you by our friends at North Shore Tavern that's directly across Federal Street from PNC Park. It's home of Steak on a Stone, an eating experience, underscoring the word experience. The steak is brought to you partially cooked on an 800-degree stone, and you do the rest. It's a ton of fun, it's a great meal, and it's a baseball atmosphere like no other in Pittsburgh. North Shore Tavern, right across Federal Street from PNC Park. Now, setting aside the 19 home runs, and again, leaving them there as a positive, he also batted .202. He also struck out 114 times in those 372 plate appearances. And while the 41 walks were somewhat promising, they weren't exactly enough for you to go, oh yeah, this is it. He's going to really nail down his pitches to hit and go after them. And how about only having 11 doubles? No triples against the 19 home runs. It was all or nothing for him. But I'm going to say this again. If you're going to have one item on your resume as a big league hitter, let it be home runs. Because despite the other lack of production, he still had a 706 OPS, which means if he was even a little bit decent at the occasional single or lining the ball a little bit more often or going the other way, which he almost never does, you'd really see something. Out of Suwinski's 19 home runs, this part you already know, 16 of them came at PNC Park. That's wild in and of itself. He has a swing, as Ben Cherington was discussing not that long ago, that's really conducive to the Clemente wall. It's been a long time since the Pirates have had one of those, and it's not Again, a bad thing. However, out of all 19 of those home runs, every last one of them came either to that direction or, if you want to stretch it a little bit, 5 of them to straightaway center. Straightaway is encouraging. Straightaway means he timed it beautifully. Wasn't ahead, wasn't behind. But you do need to see a little bit more diversity to his portfolio, I think, before you can say, yes, absolutely, this is a corner outfield for the Pittsburgh Pirates, unless you're taking the approach, which, of course, this management's not shy about doing, of making something of a project out of him. In other words, saying, hey, come hell or high water, we're going to put Suwinski out there in a corner outfield spot and see what he's got, because we, like everyone else, can't ignore 19 home runs in 372 plate appearances. We're not anywhere near blessed enough with an excess of talent, much less young talent, to be able to do that. But if you're looking at this more from the standpoint of the longer term, or what it'll mean when the Pirates are competitive, whatever that actually even means anymore, he's just going to have to do a little bit more. I'd like to believe that he can. He certainly has the temperament for it. He has the poise for it. And he just carries himself in a way that it's clear that he doesn't lack confidence. That's a really, really good foundation for taking the next step. But he does have to take the next step. When we come back, J1Q. Today's J1Q comes from Keith, who asks, regarding increasing payroll next year, what is it exactly that the Pirates are waiting for? The spots that need to be filled aren't going to be filled internally. Bringing in someone in free agency at first base or a left-handed starting pitcher blocks no one, because they have neither of those in the minors, and you're 2 or 3 pieces away just like that from being solid. What's the holdup? Well, Keith, we're going to see. We're going to see. What I have been told from 115 Federal is that next year's not going to look a whole lot different than this year in terms of approach. When I brought up the $100 million payroll that I've been floating around both on this program and in written columns, I've been told unequivocally it's not happening. Okay? So if you understand that the Pirates' correct payroll figure for 2022 was somewhere between 63 and 70 million, there's a lot of people who get this number really, really wrong. Like, I even hear people cite it as being half of that. That's the actual figure that's being filed through the Major League Baseball Players Association. So they're not in a position to lie about the math that's involved in that. And you'd like to see from there, like you said, first baseman, starting pitcher. I don't actually care all that much if it's lefty, but I would like it to be Jose Quintana, so that would be a lefty, which would be nice. You do need a catcher as a stopgap. I've reported that Roberto Perez is highly likely to be that catcher. And then you need a whole bunch of relievers who don't cost anything. So I'm with you, Keith. I'm with you. Go get a first baseman. Go get Josh Bell. What do you think Bell's going to cost? He's a free agent, by the way. Go bring him back. You already know about him. You know about his character. You don't have to do any of that advanced analysis. He was actually here under Cherington and Derek Shelton. They know him. They trust him. They really liked him. Well, pay up. Quintana, even if he's an absolute ace for the Cardinals in these playoffs, and he's got the game one nod, by the way, which should tell you a lot about him, he's not going to get offered more than 2 years. He's just not. No one's going to do that at his age. So offer him 2 years. He loved it here. not an act. Really grateful to Oscar Marine. Not a line from me. It's verifiable. Believe me on that. He'd come back in a heartbeat. Perfect storm, right? Go get them. Pay up. I'm with you, Keith. I don't get it. I don't see how what you and I are talking about here and clearly see eye to eye on isn't something that the Pirates wouldn't see the same way. They could be competitive, and thus they could sell more tickets, and thus they could make more money. The 3 most profitable years of Bob Nutting's tenure as owner, which began in 2007, were 2013, 2014, and 2015. Guess what those have in common? Right, the highest payrolls. Amazing how that works. Successful seasons put people in the seats. Put people in the seats, make more money. Put people in the seats on a regular basis, feel comfortable raising the prices a little bit. Make even more money. Mind blown! I appreciate the question, Keith. I appreciate everyone listening to Daily Shot of Pirates. And I'll be back with more of these Monday, and I'm going to repeat this from yesterday for anybody who missed it. Just because the Pirates are done doesn't mean this show is done. We, unlike them, do not quit before a season starts, and that means the 2023 season.